What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Typical Pirate, and today I've got a pretty interesting video for you. So, a couple of days ago, I put up a post asking for your hot takes on Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls series in general, and we got some responses. So in today's video, we're going to go over those responses, and we'll rate those responses on a scale of 1 to 10 for how hot I think the take is, and I'll tell you if I agree or disagree with the take. Before we begin, I want to thank everyone who actually responded to the post and left a comment. Even if I don't agree with your take today, I really do appreciate that you participated. Also, I'd be down to make a part 2 on this topic, so if you have a hot take that you'd be willing to share, go ahead, leave it down in the comments below for a chance to be featured in a possible part 2. With that out of the way, let's get right into this video. So the first comment here is from Christian Ulrich 1221, and he says the Stormcloaks are not racists, and they are the objectively right faction to side with in the Civil War. I'd say that this is a pretty warm take here, maybe a 7 out of 10, but I mostly disagree with this take. I think the Stormcloaks to some extent are racist. I mean, their whole ideology is that they're trying to retake Skyrim for the Nords, right? They have this saying, Skyrim is for the Nords, right? That sort of originates from the Stormcloak Rebellion. And they also have, in their capital city, the Grey Quarter, where all the Dark Elves are supposed to live, and they're treated horribly. So, it's maybe not fair to say every Stormcloak soldier in the army is racist, but I think a good majority, and especially the top brass, they are. And yes, Ulfric does let you join up no matter what race you pick, but I think that's mostly because of the respect he has for you after the events of Helgen. So, I think that's like the only reason that you're actually able to join the Stormcloaks as a Dark Elf or an Imperial or any other race except for Nord. Now, as for your second part of your comment here about them being the objectively right faction to choose, I, sort of disagree here. There isn't enough evidence to really make that claim. And I think it's definitely a hot take because I put up a poll where you guys chose Imperials or Stormcloaks, and most of you guys chose the Empire. So it's definitely a hot take for the community, in my opinion, and it's not something I can fully say I agree with. So thanks for the comment, though. This is definitely a hot take. Up next, we have a comment from Dragonfly Knights, who says, leveling up skills through gameplay is so much more fun than instantly mastering them through exploits. I think that this is a pretty cold take, maybe a 2 out of 10 on the scale for me. Most people buy a game so that they can play it, not so that they can break it or exploit it. Sometimes I do enjoy breaking the game every once in a while, but the novelty and the fun of it just wears off after a bit. Realistically, if I did want to get all my skills to level 100, I would just download a cheat mod and do it that way because it's just quicker. I will say I do enjoy actually working to get those skills a lot more and actually playing the game rather than not playing the game. So that's why I don't think that this take is very hot, but I still agree with it. Thank you for the comment, I really appreciate it. So this next hot take is a 3-parter. We'll go through all 3 parts. I'm pretty sure this comment was deleted because I checked back on the post and I didn't see this comment there, but I managed to get the screenshot. So I'm just going to blot out the name and profile picture of this commenter, but I still want to talk about the points because I think they're pretty good hot takes. So the first point this commenter makes is Skyrim's main quest is infinitely better than Oblivion's. Now, I'd have to say that's a somewhat warm take, maybe a 6 out of 10, and I would slightly agree with that. I think that Skyrim's main quest is better than Oblivion's. I mean, both were really good. I enjoyed both of them when I played them. But I just think that Skyrim's quest has the edge here. It has the presentation factor, which Oblivion just didn't have. And I've always felt like Oblivion's main quest was really repetitive, because you go through so many portals of Oblivion, and the novelty wore off quickly for me. So that's why I sort of think that Skyrim's quest is a little bit better. Skyrim's questline did have some issues, but I feel like I was more engaged with the story with Skyrim's main quest than I was with Oblivion's. However, I can't really say it's infinitely better. I still really like Oblivion's questline. It was a lot of fun when I played it, so I disagree with that. But I slightly agree because I do think that Skyrim's is better. Now, the second point this commenter has is that the Peace Council quest is actually good. I heavily disagree with this take. I think it's one of the worst quests in the entire game. It's a missed opportunity to actually force the player to make an important decision, and instead they can just postpone it for a while. The quest itself is really boring for me. The first time I played it, I was interested just to hear what they had to say, but in essence, it's just a bunch of politicians sitting around a table talking, and that's not really exciting. I could just turn on the news for that if I wanted to. I'm going to give this take an 8 out of 10 on the hot take scale. Personally, I've never met anyone who actually enjoyed this quest, so take that as you will. I'm glad you do, though, at the very least. Now, for his last take, Delphine is hated because she is a woman. I will give it a 9 out of 10 on the hot take scale, and I will also say I strongly disagree with this take. Delphine is annoying for so many reasons in Skyrim, none of which have to do with her being a woman. She lies to you, talks down to you, makes you do stupid stuff like the Thalmor Embassy quest. She gets in the way a lot. Worst of all, she wants you to defeat Parthenax at the end of the main quest. Now, you can debate whether or not Parthenax is deserving to live after the atrocities he committed in the past in the game, but I don't think that Parthenax deserves to die. So, it's just annoying, and she won't even talk to you if you don't complete the quest. So, yeah, Delphine being a woman has nothing to do with how much the community hates her. So, yeah. You know who you are. Thanks for the comment. I really appreciate it. Let's go on with the next hot take. So the next hot take here is from Jacob Lawson 972, and he says, even though nearly everyone resists it, ice magic is the best magic element in the game. I think that this take is pretty warm, maybe around the 5 to 6 out of 10 area. I'll just say 6 out of 10 for the record, and I disagree with this statement. First of all, I think that all 3 basic elements in the game are viable, being frost, shock, and fire. They all do their job in some way or another. Now, in my opinion, the main goal of the Destruction School of Magic is to try to maximize that damage per magicka spent. And it's hard to do that when you're using a form of magic that a lot of enemies in the game resist. Fire damage is way more versatile than frost damage in the game. I'll go through a quick list of enemies that are resistant to frost in some way or another. You have all undead, including vampires and Draugr, all Nords, all Dwemer machines, all frost trolls, all frost animals, and many other enemies in the game are somewhat resistant to frost. So it's very hard to maximize that damage per magicka spent when you're using frost. Now with something like fire, there are a lot more enemies that are vulnerable even to fire than there are to frost. And so I think that fire is the best element in the game. I do agree with you though, the sounds and visuals are so well done. The sound team did not slack off when they were making the ice spells in Skyrim. Also, if you want to slow down your enemies, instead of using ice spells, you can just use a conjuration spell. Through my testing, it slows down the enemies way more than using frost magic. Thank you so much for the comment, Jacob. I really appreciate it. On to the next hot take. The next comment I have on here is from Lorero Celine. Hope I pronounced that right. People who say that destruction is weak because it doesn't benefit from crafting skills as much as weapons do, just don't know how to use it properly. So I actually get a good amount of comments on my videos telling me that destruction magic isn't very good, so I'd honestly say this is a hot take. Maybe around an 8 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. I'll go with 7 out of 10. And I slightly agree with this. I have to say destruction magic is stronger than people make it out to be. While it can be difficult to scale your destruction damage really high for those extremely high levels, it's still really good for those mid to late game levels. For one, there's some really nice perks in the destruction tree that can really help level up your game, like Impact for example, will help you be a lot more effective with destruction magic. Now, I am going with slightly agree here because I do think that the Destruction School of Magic is not the weakest one, but I also don't think it's the strongest one. I think that still goes to Conjuration. But it's still a solid school of magic, and it's definitely not as bad as people think it is. Thank you for the comment, I really appreciate it. Let's go on to the final hot take of the video. So I've saved the hottest take for last. This comment is from Someone Silence 3731, who says, Illusion is the most powerful school of magic in the game by far, and most powerful way to fight, period. Sneak archers are nothing compared to a vampire illusion assassin. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 on the hot take scale. I think this is the hottest take of the video by far, and I have to say I do disagree with it dearly. Illusion is not the most powerful school of magic in my opinion. That goes to Conjuration. Illusion is really underrated though. I don't think a lot of players really appreciate what you can do with Illusion, especially as a vampire, especially with the Necromage perk, but it's certainly not versatile. For example, illusion works great for those groups of enemies, but once you fight someone one-on-one, illusion spells are not that good. Sure, you can scare them away with fear, but that's about it. And if you fight a high-level boss, they will probably just resist the magic anyways because of the level cap. The thing about something like Conjuration or Destruction Magic is that it can be used in any situation and be helpful. You can't say the same for Illusion. The Sneak Archer playstyle is surprisingly versatile as well. You're able to one-shot enemies from far away. A lot of perks in the archery skill tree will help with one-on-one encounters in close range, such as Paralysis Strike and Quick Shot and Power Shot, so you're covered there. It's also one of the most efficient ways to deal damage in the game, period. I mean, statistically, because you get the sneak critical bonus, and archery is just overpowered in Skyrim. Like I said, I think that Illusion can be really powerful if you can make your build correctly. However, it's meant to be more of like a complementary skill. It works great with other damage dealing skills like Destruction or One-Handed or Conjuration because it just distracts the enemies for longer, but it's just not good enough on its own. Illusion spells are also very expensive magicka-wise, so it's very tough to use in the early game for most situations, where stealth archery is very easy to start doing at the beginning of any playthrough. I think I've made my case here, but I really do respect this kind of comment because it shows that everyone plays this game differently. Illusion is a lot of fun, but I just can't see it being better than stealth archery. Still though, thanks for the comment. I really appreciate you putting your take out there. Again, I'd like to give a huge thank you to everyone who commented on that post with your hot takes. Again, all of it is really appreciated. None of this could have happened without you guys. Again, I would love to make a part 2 and make this a little mini-series, so if you have any hot takes, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and if I get enough, I'll make a part 2. Feel free to drop a like on this video if you've enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe as well. That's it for me. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.